Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Big news. Silver is on the rise. As of this video, April 4th already. Yeah, price of silver is up another dollar. We are up at $25 an ounce. Things are kind of moving quickly as a response to the whole banking fiasco. Banks folding left and right. Actually, the big ones are folding left and right. That's all, right? But it's a good time to talk about your Silver Eagles. One in particular that people really do know about, but there's still this whole other audience that don't quite understand what they are and why they command so much money on the secondary market are the emergency production Silver Eagles. Now, you could only find these in two particular dates, 2020 and 2021. And for the most part, a lot of the coins are going to come across that say emergency production or emergency release or emergency issue are all graded in some respect or some capacity. Now, to kind of go back in time a little bit, I know that a lot of you don't want to rehash this period of time because it was certainly difficult for a lot of people. 2020 production of Silver Eagles kind of came to a little bit of a screeching halt, and you guys know why? That was not it. Although very close. Yeah, that was my dog. Yeah. Good timing, right? But no, if you said the COVID-19 pandemic, you are correct. That did a number on production of not only Silver Eagles, but coinage in general. For the most part, the mints were all operating at a very minimal kind of capacity. As far as we know, the West Point Mint facility is personally responsible for minting a lot of the Silver Eagles that you see today. For the most part, they produce a lot of what we call the uncirculated type of Silver Eagles. And traditionally, these are referred to as our bullion coins, as we like to call them. And normally, they don't have a W Mint mark on them. A lot of them do, some of them don't. The whole production of Silver Eagles over the course of the last like 5-6 years has been kind of strange. You know, some will have a W Mint mark, some will not, but you know they're produced at the W Mint. Kind of crazy. So getting back into the emergency production Silver Eagles. So at the onset of the pandemic, circa April 2020, I'd like to say. Kind of started right around March, April, right around there. The U.S. Mint, they closed down the West Point Mint facility that normally handles the production of Silver Eagles. So, what happened there? Well, San Francisco also closed their mint facility for a little while as well. However, they reopened back up not too long after closing. They had just enough staff to get those mint presses working, and as a way to help combat the need and desire for Silver Eagles especially, what they did was they transferred some of that production to both the San Francisco and Philadelphia mints, respectively. And what becomes quite the tale of two incredibly collectible bullion coins, I guess? Yeah, kind of strange how all this kind of works. And if you haven't been kind of keeping tabs as far as the emergency issue a few years later, then yeah, you'll be thoroughly confused why they even exist in the first place. So let's kind of talk a little bit about the production numbers of these Silver Eagles that came from both the San Francisco and the Philadelphia mints. And then perhaps you're going to understand why they command such a large premium in today's market. So let's go ahead and start out, I guess, at the San Francisco Mint. The San Francisco Mint kind of took a lot of the workload when it came to producing what they call the emergency issue coins. Here's actually an example of one of these here that's graded by NGC as a mid-state 70. As you can see, the only difference in this coin is that it's in a holder, because without the graded holder, in hindsight, you wouldn't even know that it's emergency issue because they don't put the mint marks on there, which is kind of crazy. I kind of wish that they would have, to help kind of differentiate one to the other, especially for the non-graded examples. It's my understanding that a lot, if not all of the pieces during this emergency period were sent off to either PCGS or NGC to have authentication attached to it to let people know that these are emergency issues. But I kind of have the feeling that not all of them did. So, maybe they have some sort of special sticker on the actual tubes that these things were in to denote some sort of emergency issue. Some of you that collect into these a lot more probably knows a little bit about that and can probably chime in a little bit more. All right, so San Francisco bore the production brunt a little bit, producing 2 million of these emergency release Silver Eagles. Okay, again, they don't have an S mint mark, so if they're not graded or authenticated, you wouldn't know any different that they were emergency releases. And it's kind of important, believe it or not. Now, the Philadelphia Mint, believe it or not, is the outlier in all of this. Sure, they seem to be kind of like the best pick to brunt a lot of the production of Silver Eagles, but no, it was not meant to be. They only produced 240,000 emergency release issues of the Silver Eagle made in Philadelphia. Again, I believe all of them were probably authenticated by PCGS or NGC at this point, to help you guys realize which one's which. Or again, some of these might be in those snappy little US Mint supplied tubes that hold Silver Eagles, the ones that are nice and brawny and, just they do the job for sure. Some of them have the little fancy green top to them, and they have the sticker that goes, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyways, 240,000, which signifies kind of a key. And as we all know, Silver Eagle collectors are a very passionate bunch. There's a lot of you out there, not only on the investing side, but also the numismatic kind of collectible side as well. So they realize that this 240,000 piece mintage, I guess, of Philadelphia emergency releases are kind of a big deal. And they are. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of the values and prices of where these are at. Should you trust them for long-term, I guess, value or investability? That's going to be something that's very important as we continue to see this upward trend of silver and gold. All right. So it doesn't end there. And believe it or not, in 2021, 1 year removed from the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, guess what? There was still a need for more Silver Eagles. All right. Mints were working at a very limited capacity. The West Point Mint wasn't 100%. So, lo and behold, both the San Francisco and Philadelphia Mint produced another round of emergency issue Silver Eagles. And believe it or not, the 2021 coins are kind of a big deal because if you guys remember, didn't they do a little bit of a design change in 2021 where we have the outgoing Type 1 with the old school heraldic eagle reverse, and we have this new Type 2 version with this new kind of Ike Dollar-ish reverse eagle design? Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like because that's what everybody says it looks like, and I would agree. So here we are in 2021. Both the Philadelphia and San Francisco Mints both produced another round of emergency Silver Eagles bearing the Type 1 reverse. And as we all know, folks that collect coins and collect silver bullion, there's something kind of crazy about a transitional year where they're changing either the design or the composition of a coin. People go kind of crazy collecting these things. So The San Francisco Mint minted exactly 1 million coins of the emergency issue. I'm willing to bet a lot of them were graded as well. And the Philadelphia Mint coming in behind again with another key date kind of year. 495,000 coins were produced with the Type 1 reverse, which makes it an incredibly big deal. And it's going to be kind of like the subject of what's going to be crazy prices for these coins. So that is the mintage of both 2020 and 2021 emergency release Silver Eagles, and pretty limited, all right? And that's the big reason why that some of these are, generating some insane secondary market prices. Now, let's talk about some of those coins that are a little bit more accessible and more palatable to own, because you're not going to be paying nearly as much. So that would be the San Francisco minted 2020s. Remember, that's the one that produced 2 million pieces. There are Mint State 70 versions, whether they're PCGS or NGC graded coins, that are currently available as buy nows for $65. And you're probably thinking to yourself, good gracious, Sean, that's double of what a standard, I guess, regular Silver Eagle would go for with the premium already on there. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know, you don't have to tell me twice. That seems kind of ridiculous. But $65 for one of these so-called emergency production Silver Eagles, believe it or not, is a little bit of a bargain. So let's talk a little bit about Philadelphia coins. Now, again, there are Mint State 70s and Mint State 69s. Obviously, the ones that you want to try and go for are going to be the Mint State 70s. Those, numismatically, are going to have the best kind of value over the long term rather than the 69s. Because, case in point, there is currently a 2020 Philadelphia emergency release issue that's graded PCGS Mint State 69. It also says first strike. However, the caveat is it has some of those unsightly milk spots, and that's probably the big reason why it's only available for $40. Buy it now. You could buy that coin right now. That's the one with the really low mintage of 240,000, if you believe that. 240,000 still selling for way above what I guess melt price is. Although with Silver Eagles, nobody buys these at melt anyways. Even coin dealers, they're buying these, for the most part, a few dollars above melt. So they in turn are buying these up at a little bit of a premium, but as a retailer, they are selling them for a lot more of a premium. So there is one currently available for $40. All right, still very expensive. But you're going to find all across the board that these first year 2020 emergency release coins are quite expensive. A first day of issue Mint State 70 and NGC plastic of the S Mint, $80. Here's a 2020 Philadelphia NGC Mint State 69. So this is the low mintage one, $65. And, it just continues on from there. Now, if you wanted a Mint State 70 emergency release issue coin, you're going to cough up around $80 to $90 for that one in Mint State 70. So that's a 2022. Now, as far as 2021 goes, here's where things get a little bit interesting. 2021 piece, Mint State 69, doesn't matter what grading company you use, keep in mind it's not the perfect grade, $50 for one of those. If you wanted one that's Mint State 70 for a Type 1 reverse, $90 to $100. So they're slightly more expensive than the outgoing 2020p Mint State 70s. Now, again, that's more because of the Type 1 reverse. If you're going to dip your toe into a PCGS example, they get a little bit expensive for that Philadelphia issue. Now, the San Franciscos, I'm happy to say, are a little bit more affordable. They're right around $50 to $60. if you get that 2021 S Type 1 emergency release in a Mint State 70. And you could have your way of either an NGC or PCGS graded coin. And if you're looking for a 2021 P with that 400,000 some odd mintage figure, yeah, you're going to be right around $100 for those. All right, so they're a little bit more. Now, how does this compare to regular non-emergency issue coins? And I get this question all the time, and that's a great question, by the way. And the price difference is going to be around 10, 15, 20% of a higher difference of the same grade, all right, which is notable, especially when these were produced and intended to just be silver bullion to help supplement or kind of like pick up the slack of a non-existent West Point Mint. So there you go. That's where we're at here. Now, kind of my final assessment here, talking about, is it worth it? Well, if the prices don't move anywhere and we see the price of silver continue to creep up toward that $30 an ounce level, right now, yes, they're going to be worth it because people will hold these in a lot higher regard because of their emergency issue status. Me personally, if I were going to buy any of them, I would probably simply target the P minted coins because they are a lot lower mintage. Now, right now, I could justify the prices for now on well under $100 for these. Like if I found a Mint State 70 P Mint coin, first strike, fancy label. If you can find one with a courtesy signature of the designer or some mint director or something like that, you probably want to jump on it if the price is right. All right. But as of right now, I'm kind of on the fence of whether or not I feel like that these are a real bargain, considering that these coins used to be $100 to $150 2 years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that when these things were released back in the end of 2020, that kind of holiday season of 2020, these things were going bonkers. All right. Where in the perfect world we're justifying paying anything between $100 to $200 for these coins was correct. All right. But now that the prices have kind of settled down on them, we're beyond the COVID-19 pandemic period, thank God. I would say that some of these have kind of like a justifiable premium, but nothing too crazy. Okay, if you see them for like $100 or some ridiculous number at your local coin shop, you'd be best to avoid those at all costs. So this is what I wanted to talk about in this one. This topic, by the way, was brought to you by one of my guests I talked to on my consultation. All right. Thank you, Brett, for the consultation. I know you are very interested in this. He collects and sells Silver Eagles, and it does really well at it. He's okay with me plugging him in this one. If you guys are interested, I still have room for the month of April for a consultation, whatever it may be. We could talk about eBay. We could talk about your collection. We could talk about how to sell, how to buy, do all that great stuff. My link is down below. Limited spots. I'm filled up for this week, but if we do have some slots open for next week. If you're interested in talking more about coins, I'm your man, and hopefully we could get down to the bottom of everything that is kind of stumping you. So go ahead and check out my Calendly link down below if you're interested in reserving a good 45 minutes to an hour to talk. I would love to hear from you guys. And it was a pleasure. Thank you again to the 24 people or so that responded to my my last video a few weeks ago about the consultations. And you guys have been fantastic. We're going to do more of these as we go. Have a lot of fun doing it. And it was certainly a pleasure talking to each and every single one of you about the emergency issue Silver Eagles, even though it's been brought up topic-wise on YouTube a few times. We're going to revisit it. So you guys make your own judgment call if this is for you. I know silver has been going bonkers here lately. People are paying absolutely insane premiums on even things like 80% sterling, 90% silver, constitutional, you name it. If you could get a hold of silver at a reasonable price, I think that magic number is still 20 times face. Good luck with that, by the way. You know, that's where I would be at on 90%. But also keep an eye out for generics, all of the other popular rounds, bars, and all that great stuff. You know, your Silver Eagles, your Maple Leafs, your, you know, all these other things, Libertads, Chinese pandas, and all that. They're all starting to explode. People are looking for them. And again, you know, pick yourself a little bit if you have a little bit of money to put towards it. But, you know, I could see silver kind of exploding here even during the summer, during a time where I normally don't say that silver is going to be shooting up. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you guys again for tuning in on another Blue Ridge Silverhound video. I'm your host, Sean. You guys take care. Happy hunting. Enjoy the hobby. And I will see you next time.